Namaskar, Jai Gurudev. We are commencing knowledge series on Shrimad Amrutanubhav. Shrimad Amrutanubhav is a grantha or a sacred text written by Sri Jnaneshwar Maharaj, a Siddha Natha yogi lived in Alandi around 725 years ago. He was a disciple of Natha Sampradaya. From today, we are starting the knowledge sessions on various aspects of Shrimad Amrutanubhav from scientific and spiritual point of view. The entire elucidation is based on the scientific way, the way Jnaneshwar Maharaj has written the Amrutanubhav is his own experience and the wisdom he has imparted with the sincere seekers that we are going to grasp and study and also bring in our sadhana or in our spiritual practice. So, we will start with the Guru Vandana. अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं विश्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. ओम सद्गुरु श्री कृपार्पणमस्तु. In today's session, we will just have a look of what is Amrutanubhav in brief and about the great Saint Jnaneshwar Maharaj. Jnaneshwar Maharaj, as I already told, he lived in Alandi in Maharashtra near Pune in 13th century. 725 years ago, he entered into Sanjeevan Samadhi and still living as a cosmic energy. His vibrations can be experienced when we visit the Samadhi Sthala. As I told, he was a disciple of Natha Sampradaya and his physical lifespan on this earth was 21 years. His guru was his own elder brother, Nivruttinath Maharaj. The guru lineage, in short, I can say, it is starting from Shiva, Adinatha, then Matsyendranath, Gorakshanath, Gahninath, Nivruttinath and Jnanadev Maharaj. He was a Jivan Mukta, or he is a Jivan Mukta saint, the Siddha, who is liberated from all attachments and entanglements of human life. As per the directions of his guru, he has written very few texts or very few bhajan, or we call it as OV, and few grantha, sacred text, that are enough for a sincere seeker to do adequate sadhana and walk on the path of spirituality. He was a very revolutionary saint. In general, Natha Sampradaya follows Guru Shishya Parampara, means a guru imparts his knowledge, her knowledge to only the Shishya who is Siddha or who is able to grasp such a higher spiritual knowledge. But with permission of his guru, Jnaneshwar Maharaj has changed this concept of Guru to Shishya Parampara, and he opened the treasure of knowledge to the common people. You know, Srimad Bhagavad Gita was written in Sanskrit as told by Sri Krishna to Arjuna, and later on many saints, sages wrote commentary on this, like Shankar Bhasya by Sri Shankaracharya. But afterwards, Sanskrit was not a common language, and in different parts of India, different languages were spoken that time. In Maharashtra, Prakrit was very much in practice. So, to impart this divine knowledge of Sri Bhagavad Gita, Jnaneshwar Maharaj written Jnaneshwari or Bhavartha Deepika, which contains around 9,000 shlokas, and that gives the immense knowledge to the sincere seekers in common people's language. He has also written around 996 spiritual songs or OV. Those are full of spiritual meaning, and they reflect his own spiritual journey and his own spiritual experiences. During those days, there was a very old, 1400 years old Hatha Yogi called Changdeva, and he met Jnaneshwar Maharaj, who was hardly of 18-19 years old, and he surrendered to Jnaneshwar Maharaj because Jnaneshwar Maharaj gave him such a sermon about the Jivan Mukta Dasha, or the emancipated life a yogi should follow, and those 65 verses are compiled as Changdev Pasasti. This is his another work. Then Haripat. These are a small bhajan or devotional song he has written for common people. Common people cannot go in such a deep spiritual knowledge and cannot do sadhana, which needs a very dedicated time. Grahasthashram for common people is very active and keep them busy. So he has written Haripat for the common people, and his last work as a person or on this earth, he has written Shrimad Amrutanubhav. Jnaneshwari or Bhavartha Deepika is very well known to all. Many people in the world, they know Jnaneshwari, they have recited it. There are many studies done on Jnaneshwari, and it is very popular among the Varkari Sampradaya, which is founded by Jnaneshwar Maharaj himself. But Shrimad Amrutanubhav is such a divine text that has been written by a supreme blissful state of Chitta by Jnaneshwar Mauli, that explained the Advaita, the non-dual state of the soul, with the Shiva Tattva, which is the cosmic soul. He has explained how Shiva and Shakti are non-dual. Shiva is a universal cosmic energy which is in static form. We call it as dark energy or black matter or dark matter in the scientific terminologies. That is Shiva, and Shakti is his dynamic version. But how the Shakti and Shiva are non-dual, that has been beautifully explained in first chapter. What is knowledge? What is ignorance? We always come with these terminologies like Jnana, Ajnana, but what is that? What is the importance? What is the significance of this Jnana, Ajnana in human life or a life of a spiritual speaker? That he has very beautifully explained. Then importance of Guru in the sincere seeker's life. Then how Guru Tattva and Shiva Tattva is same, that also he has beautifully explained. Then how our soul, or we can call as a self or Atman, that is always in Satchit Ananda state. So what is that state? How it reflects, and how we can identify all these things, that has been covered in Amrutanubhav. He also advised how to remain indifferent towards word, towards knowledge and ignorance, as they do not exist at all. He narrated the state of Jivan Mukta, the emancipated life. That is, how a person with all his five koshas living on the earth in a human existence, how a person can live a life of emancipated or mukta dasha, how moksha can be experienced while living a human life, that he has explained. He started Varkari Sampradaya. It is a bhakti movement spread in Maharashtra, Karnataka, Goa, Andhra Pradesh, in some part of Madhya Pradesh also. Lord Vitthal of Pandharpur is an embodiment of Vishnu and Shiva Tattva. And Varkari Sampradaya follows Vithala Bhakti, means they are devotional to Vithala. Every year, lakhs of Varkari visit Vithala on Ashadi and Kartiki Ekadashi. That is the moment Jnaneshwar Maharaj started to bring all people together to follow the Sanatan Dharma principles. During that time, Muslim invasion was started and slowly it was spreading along with the other school of thoughts like Buddhism, etc. And Sanatan Dharma teachings or Shaivagam, they were taken a bit backward seat, we can say, and slowly people were forgetting the knowledge. So, to bring this knowledge, to revive this knowledge, he has started the simple way of devotional Bhakti Marga, because in Kali Yuga, Bhakti Marga is the only simple way to bring people together and to have sadhana and also to get liberated from the human life, from the clutches of attachments and entanglement. So, with this Varkari movement, he put a full stop to the Shaiva and Vaishnava. There was a dispute between Shaiva followers and Vaishnava followers. So he put a full stop to this dispute and created a unique way, because he was such a visionary person. So this way he started gathering people together, started the Bhakti again. So this is the great work he has started, and still after 700 years also we see people are with all devotion do wari and visit the Pandharpur. So this book is such a important for a sincere seeker. It gives a direction, a practical experience or the anubhuti of nirvana or moksha. If we follow and we understand Amrutanubhav, a sincere seeker doesn't need any other text or any other sadhana to attain the Jivan Mukta Dasha. We lovingly call him as Mauli, means mother, because all his works are full of love, like a mother loves her child. He is an embodiment of love, compassion and wisdom. This is a very rare combination we can find in any saint. Jnaneshwar Mauli retained the awesome wisdom in Prakrit language, which was in practice 700 years ago in Maharashtra. So language shall not be a barrier for gaining the knowledge or imparting the knowledge from any spiritual grantha. So with this intention only he has translated the entire Bhagavad Gita, and he has given an elucidation on that in Prakrit language. So Sri Ravi Shankar Guruji, who is my mentor and guru also, he has asked to bring all this ancient knowledge in simple language, English language, which normally nowadays youngsters are following. And with this language we can reach to Western countries where the spreading of such type of knowledge is very necessary. At the age of 21 years, he entered into Sanjeevan Samadhi. So in short, we will see what is Sanjeevan Samadhi. Sanjeevan Samadhi is a tantric process, and generally Natha Sampradaya gurus are following this way of living the body or being in a cosmic energy. When we take a birth, the Atman collect all the Pancha Mahabhuta. Pancha Mahabhuta is Jala, Vayu, Agni, fire. Agni means fire, Akash and earth. These are the 5 elements of which we are made up of. So while taking the Sanjeevan Samadhi, the yogi or the Siddha leaves these 5 elements with his own will, and he remains in a state of Chidakash or the space element. He lives in a space element. So Jnaneshwar Mauli also entered in Sanjeevan Samadhi. It is said that Lord Vithala was present that time, and Lord Vithala and Nivrutinath Maharaj, his guru, took him along to the cave where he is still sitting and where he started the process of Sanjeevan Samadhi. It is below the Samadhi Sthal of Jnaneshwar Maharaj in Alandi. When he sat there, he started leaving the 2 elements, water and earth, which are the Jada or which are the heavy elements. Then his body started disappearing. Then remained only the Agni Tattva and Vayu Tattva. That is Agni and Vayu. They created a golden sort of a image, you can say image only, and slowly that also disappeared with a beautiful and very soothing voice or sound, you can say, and that indicated that Jnaneshwar Maharaj entered into the Akash Tattva, means he is now as a space element only. And then the people came out and the place was sealed with a plate of stone. After around 200 or 300 years, he appeared to Eknath Maharaj and he told that there is a root from a tree that has come near his neck area and that is troubling him. So Eknath Maharaj again entered into that Samadhi cave and he removed that root. After that, hardly 1 or 2 very Siddha Sadhaka entered inside the cave. So this is the process of Sanjeevan Samadhi, and it is the rarest tantric process. Very few Siddha Yogi adopt this. Shrimad Amrutanubhav is elaboration of the Changdev Pasashti. Changdev Pasashti was a dialogue between a Siddha emancipated Jnanadeva to a Hatha Yogi Siddha, Changadeva. So that was a very higher level talk. So Nivrutinath Maharaj, his guru, told him or directed him that bring this sacred knowledge for all. And then he written Shrimad Amrutanubhav before entering into Sanjeevan Samadhi. So this unique grantha has 10 main chapters. The first chapter is union of Shiva and Shakti, Shiva Shakti Samavesha. It explains the creation of the universe, which reverberates in static and dynamic form, and how both the states are inseparable. We cannot separate the Shiva and Shakti Tattva. Then praising of Sri Guru. Guru Stavan. This is the important aspect for any sincere seeker or sadhak, that praising of Guru or giving gratitude to Guru is a must. Then the third is paying debt of speech or Vani. This is the very rarest aspect we can find in Amrutanubhav. In fact, the entire Amrutanubhav is very unique text. We cannot find such type of knowledge and wisdom in one place. You know, paying debt of speech means we are imparting this knowledge to others, or when we speak, this is the part of our speech, and this is the only way we can transfer the knowledge from one person to another. So this is the very great thing. Only because of speech capacity or Vani we can transfer the knowledge. So Jnaneshwar Maharaj has paid tribute to the Vani in this chapter. Then the next chapter is narration on difference in knowledge and ignorance. See, Jnana and Ajnana, these are the terms we regularly talk about or we read anywhere. But what is the difference between knowledge and ignorance? He has explained very beautifully. The fifth chapter is about the Satchid Ananda. It is the truth, consciousness and bliss, the real form or existence of our self or Atman, and how Atman reflects through these Satchid Ananda aspects. Then the sixth one is rebut of words, Shabda Khandan. In spiritual practice, words have no importance at all. If you go in deep spiritual practice, silence becomes your entity, or you would like to be in silence only. But sincere seeker should also know what is the futility of words. Then the seventh chapter explains about the Ajnana Khandan, means rebut of ignorance also. How ignorance is only a concept and it's not a real thing. This is the very unique truth he has explained that denies all references of ignorance that we find in various ancient text. So this is a very unique sort of a chapter that we'll discuss in detail. Then in the 8th chapter he also explained how knowledge is not required. It's rebut of knowledge, Jnana Khandan. He has explained that Jnana is also not necessary for sincere seekers, because what is knowledge? Knowledge is the information that we gather from different text, by reading text or by studying something, listening to spiritual stories or various spiritual speeches or sermons of gurus, etc. That is the knowledge that we receive from our sensory organs, means our Jnanendriya. We receive the information and that is being stored in our memory. That is knowledge. But these are all external things. When we go in detail, when we go in deep about knowledge, we find that this is something external thing, a perceptions of others that we receive in the form of knowledge. Then the 9th chapter is very important. It is Jivan Mukta Dasha Kathan, means how a liberated soul or emancipated soul lives. What is what type of life, what type of activities, or what reflects from a Jivan Mukta person or an liberated soul, that has been given in this chapter. All these things are very difficult to write, explain, but when we go through Amrutanubhav, when we study Amrutanubhav, we come to know that Jnaneshwar Maharaj's spiritual status is so high that he is able to transmit this wisdom to us through words only. And see, the entire Amrutanubhav is like a song, it is like a Gita. No, they are beautiful OVs he has written with very simple examples of day-to-day life that we'll see when we go in detail with each chapter. Then the last chapter is about he explains glory of his own Grantha. He says the Grantha or the Amrutanubhav has been written with the blessings of his Guru. So, how important is the Grantha he has written? And lastly, we can say that this Grantha, this book, unveils the mystical text with scientific and spiritual interpretation. I am a civil engineer, so I have a background of science or Vijnana. So, Mauli is so kind that he explained me Amrutanubhav Grantha, and he gave the links that how the ancient wisdom that has been written in Amrutanubhav is applicable in today's life. Today, many scientists are doing various experiments about space, about black holes. They are discovering galaxies, dark matter, even the physics. It is not a normal physics, it's called quantum physics and cosmology. They deal with very differently. And you will be surprised to know that all these knowledge streams of latest scientific world is beautifully correlated with Amrutanubhav wisdom. Einstein has said E is equal to mc square. The equation he has given, but Jnanadev Mauli explains how a Jivan Mukta Dasha or an emancipated soul lives and lives in his state, which can be equivalent to E is equal to mc square. That has been beautifully explained. I am so blessed to have this wisdom from Mauli directly, and with the blessings of my Guru Sri Tukai and Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Guruji. So, with this knowledge series, we will start experiencing the ambrosial experiences or Anubhuti, Amrutanubhavati of Sri Jnanadev Mauli, and I hope the sincere seekers or the sadhak or the person who is interested in today's science also, all will have a beautiful gift of wisdom and knowledge. So, we will start this knowledge series and we will go in deep of sadhana and experience the ambrosia of spirituality. Namaskar, Jai Gurudev.